You need to find this place or we'll be late.
Make a left on Astrology Avenue. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant right. It should be right here at 444 Spirit Way. Oh, turn!
It looks like Renee. Yay, we're on time. The James and Kellee Show.
Great, let's start the show.
I still love that. Hi, James.
You always get lost. Hi, Cal. Hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. Well, I'm good. And how are you? I know you've had quite a day.
I'm very excited. I'm kind of like over the top here. Like, wow. I saw a friend that she said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Well, I had a Red Bull."
I've never had one.
I had one for the afternoon. I'm teaching, physically teaching, and I just love it. I'm passionate about it. So I think that's what it was. But it's great. I feel great. I love teaching physically. I had a meeting with 3 students, only six of them, which was great. Never taught that small group. And it's really good. Really, really excellent. Loved it. So
I bet they're all so happy to be together, to be with you.
Yeah. Yeah, we all flew from all over the world too. So it's nice. It's
How
really, really nice.
exciting.
We're having dinner tomorrow night. And yeah, I was having a good time. And then meeting for 2 students start Wednesday. And with them for a few days, and it's been great. It's such a difference in physical than it is on the Zoom. Yeah. I miss that. I miss that a lot.
I know. Oh gosh,
I love are those tulips behind
those
you?
are tulips. Aren't those gorgeous?
Tulips February in Wisconsin. I'm just curious.
Go figure. I know. I don't know what to say. I'm curious too.
You're wearing your Ukrainian colors.
I am, because I am pro-Ukrainian. I mean, I just am so for the people in Ukraine. My heart is just killing me.
We were talking the other day, and you said something which I thought was really perfect. And I don't know where that word came from, because I don't think I've said it in years in a review. You said this whole thing is barbaric, which it really goes back to karma tonight. Barbaric days. It's barbaric. It is. Who does that anymore? Who invades countries?
It's archaic, and it brings, you want to say, God, you're to the soul of this guy, of Putin. You want to say, beyond shame on you, but the karmic influence, the karma is just terrific, and the world is in a different place. I mean, we really have.
It's in a very different place.
Different.
But Vietnam, we freed things up. I feel it's a different place. I mean,
it's just different. I mean, we've been in for 2 years. I mean, really doing a lot of work on ourselves, and so we've actually can take the time to look and say, wait a minute, what are you doing? I don't think that's not going to work nowadays.
Yeah. So I know astrologically there's a lot going on, because every time I speak to Kellee warns me. I mean, I have to be a true friend, because
you are a true friend.
You warned me every time we spoke, and I'm like, Kellee, now something positive. What are the positive attributes? Like, no, this is really important, and it is, and everything you said has come true. Every single thing.
It is.
I mean, really, it's amazing.
Thanks, James. I mean, let's talk about that, because right now, when we were talking about the number 2 and February of 2022 and 222. Yes. So if we start with that.
Wait, you mentioned that the president of Ukraine and also Putin are also 2s.
Yes, good point. They're both 2 of diamonds. They're both, well, you know how we talk about when I do the destiny cards, every birth date has a meaning. So Zelensky, who's my hero now, he was born on January 25th, which is a 2 of diamonds. And that would be if I go by Vedic astrology, it would be in Capricorn, but it would be in Aquarius. So think about that for a minute, in Aquarius. And then Putin, he's October 7th, 2 of diamonds. And Libra. So it's
harmony.
Really interesting time. Now, also, Zelensky is 44. Very spiritual number, and Putin is 69.
And it feels to me, and I'm predicting this, but it feels to me like the president there has more of good energy there for power of mind, mental processes, can really do things, where Putin's just throwing his last hand in. So I think the global community has got to come together, even though they're not part of NATO. It doesn't matter at this point. We all need to come together and stop them, because that's not right in the world we're living in.
Right.
We just got to make that clear. And I don't know politically what's going on, but I think the world community should have come together quicker and stop them right away. That's what I think.
They may be doing that. I mean, I really feel that so many are coming together.
Let's all have that light and send it to them. The people that make those.
And that's what we're going to talk about, because first of all of these twos, as I've always said, they mean duality, and duality is the opposite. And if we look at here, what we're looking at, the duality of war and peace, major one. And it's what you said. Ultimately, it has to be, we have to come together. We have to have a balance here. We have to come together with this. So this is a huge, huge deal. And March.
Kellee, also, people on the inside of Russia are also fighting it and protesting.
Yes.
It shows you that that system is old and archaic.
It's
and
archaic.
People have evolved. People have evolved.
Right. They certainly have evolved. So the big news that we have coming up is on March 2nd. So that's just on Wednesday, March 2nd. So what happens on March 2nd is we have some major events, and that's coming up so quickly. So it's a new moon in Pisces. So let's start with the positive. It's a new moon in Pisces. And
I love that.
Right? And this new moon has not been felt since 1856. And that was the beginning of the spiritual movement, 1856.
Because we're going to send it to someone who has a moon in Pisces.
Well, what's so interesting about this full moon, or this new moon in Pisces, is that it also comes together in alignment with, I mean, it's so fascinating. It conjuncts Jupiter in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, and the sun in Pisces. So that alignment has not happened since 1856. Now, just to do a little history here, Jupiter was the ancient ruler of Pisces, James.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the ancient ruler of Pisces. And the modern ruler is now Neptune. And they're all coming together right now. And so what this means is that there could be a spiritual intervention, because Pisces means spiritual.
Let me interrupt you for people that don't know this. So let me interrupt you. So all those alignments in Pisces, what are the positive traits of Pisces, would you say, besides spiritual?
I would say spiritual, emotional, empathy, compassion. Think Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus Pisces, that's right.
I mean, it really brings the most kind of a spiritual enlightenment that somebody could have. Frankly, it's a big deal.
Yeah, factors that are playing out right now. It's got to happen.
It's got to happen, and so that's the day. Start praying, and because this is such a time that if you send
everybody pray, send thoughts, everybody love, please,
love, because there could be a spiritual intervention
as well. By the way, send it to Putin too, because his higher self will respond. You can always send to that higher self, and that can bleed down to the lower self. I did the meditation of the day with him. We're all connected, so we've got to get to that higher aspect of his being in order to make a difference.
Right. That's a great idea, actually. Great idea.
It's not a good time with that. It's not good to have this wartime right now when there are nuclear bombs everyone has. I mean, it's not good.
Oh my goodness. No. So also on March 2nd, we have now, so here's the positive is we've got this amazing
Thanks, Kellee. I love you.
Right. That's the positive. Okay. And now I'm going to make another turn here.
Sure.
So on March 2nd, it is also an 11-day in numerology. And 11 means serious. 11 means the teacher. It means serious. It means a spiritual awakening. So again, on the positive side, we could have a spiritual intervention. Something amazing from the heavens can come in and go, okay, something could happen.
I just hope that they come back to get me.
I know, right? I know. Don't leave us behind.
You already did that.
But also on March 2nd, this is why it's such a powerful day.
Kellee, while you're saying that, as we usually work together, you say something, I get to hit something. I just want everyone to light a candle. Light a candle. That shows your intention to positive, peaceful resolution to this, that everybody goes back to where they belong. Please. Yeah. Okay, continue.
I love that. I love that.
It's on that teaching mode. Right.
Yeah, well, good. Keep teaching. Also on March 2nd. So again, this March 2nd has two other aspects to it. So when I say Wednesday is the most powerful, intense day, it also Mercury and Saturn conjunct in Aquarius. Now, what does that mean? So
what does that mean?
A conjunction is formed when either two or more planets line up exactly in the same sign, James. And it makes it really powerful. So Mercury and Saturn. Mercury is communications. Saturn is karma. It's intense. It's teaching. It brings serious responsibility. And
it's also the high-mindedness of things as well.
Yeah,
and humanitarian,
because it's in Aquarius, which is humanitarian. So we might have some news on that front. It it's a very strong influence. And the last aspect we have that day is we have a Venus and Mars conjunction, and then a conjunction with Pluto all together. So when I say powerful, powerful, what does that mean? It's so powerful that Venus and Mars, also, if we look at the duality of Venus and Mars, Venus means love and Mars means war.
War.
So we've got the duality again that shows up on Wednesday.
And what are they in?
They're in, all of them are in Capricorn.
Capricorn, how perfect for Karma tonight, which is Capricorn.
And
Capricorn.
Mars is going to be more heavily aspected that day because it's exalted in Capricorn, which means it likes being in Capricorn because it means strength and willpower. So this is an extreme time here. It means this month is about transformation. This month is all about transformation. So we want to say all the prayers we can. I mean,
everybody light a candle.
Light a candle.
Please work on the inner planes, really. Work on those higher planes of existence, because this is just a solid part of us. We're much more out there in the ethereal out here than in here. So we can get that way, and we can really bring that down to the physical. Right. We have to. I mean, if there's a collective consciousness to stop this, we can.
Yeah. Oh, isn't this interesting? Angela writes, oh, thank you for saying this. Angela Sophia says Pope Francis is calling for a day of prayer on March 2nd. Thank you for saying that.
I'm writing that down. I'll put it on my website.
Me too, James. I'm so happy to see that. Oh my gosh. See, we're going to do good work out there.
It's amazing. Yeah, let's look at the positive things, not the negative.
Right, exactly.
Positive energy, even in your own little sphere. If you're having fights with people, heal them. Forgiveness.
Oh, please.
Try everything you can. How can we expect the world to come together if we don't come together?
Yeah. Well, that's really what this period is about, James. Really, it's literally letting go of what you need to let go of so you can enjoy this new moon that comes in, because you have the ability to have so many amazing spiritual experiences going forward. In fact, for your students, this is an amazing time for them that they are with you during this aspect. It really means spiritual enlightenment for so many people.
Well, bringing back my students, I was going to mention this to you because you're so psychic. You say this thing, just freak me out, of course.
Sorry.
But just for everybody here in the audience, one of the readings today that I was helping them with their demonstrations was a father. This girl was bringing someone through, and it was a father for someone, one of the students. And it was so moving. I said, yes, so she described the man, got him through, everything was fine. And then it's okay, what is the message now? And she said, he couldn't love you when you were alive, and he's regretting that. And he goes through days. They don't have days there, but there's moments. They just live in that space of non-regret. So he's, please forgive him. He is sorry. And he goes, I love you. She said, that's the second time I've ever heard him say, I love you. And I said, look at this, for everyone in this audience here, you just healed. So everybody out here, now I'm sending this all to everyone here. Forgive those in your life you need to. Take the higher road. How do we expect the world to change if we don't change ourselves?
Right. It's time to let go. It's time to forgive.
Yes, it really is.
Because what happens is in karma, then, if you don't let go, the karmic, you're going to come back again. And seriously, do you really want to? I mean, come on, just forgive.
And tonight, because of tonight's topic, I went through my library, and I know enough about karma. I don't feel I know not enough. I don't know for the show. I feel I wanted to do the best, as you being the Virgo. And I found that old book, which is out of print, and it's a classic that I bought when I used to go to the Bodhi Tree bookstore back in the early 90s, or late 80s, 87. Right. And this book here, Karma and Reincarnation.
Wow. Who's that by?
You're going to ask me that. Oh. Dr. Hiroshima Motoyama, Japanese man. And it's incredible. And I'm going to, throughout the night of our karma, just every once in a while, just open to some page and read it, because I think it's one of those types of books. There's so much information here between family karma, marital karma, that I think would be fun just to do that. So. Oh,
and you had one time you had mentioned to me geographical karma.
Yes, it's also in here. We'll talk about that soon.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yes.
This is so interesting. Oh my
So,
gosh.
Kelly, what do you think karma is? Because so many people have a mindset of what karma is.
Okay.
I think it's changing, it's shifting. The truth is coming out now.
Okay. The law of karma emphasizes the law of cause and effect, basically. So our actions have consequences, and consequences in turn affect who we are.
Exactly. So, and we all say it different ways, but I mean, I love. I was raised Catholic, and it was always very important, of course, following the golden rule, which to me, the work I've done, that's the way it is. We're all energy, and the energy we put forth into the world is what we're creating. We're creating a show. We're creating something. We are God. Every single person is God. I believe that, and God is creation. God is movement, creation. And I believe that we create with our thoughts and our words, and then with our actions, even stronger. So with the energy you're creating, putting out there, you're going to live that. So if you put out negative things, you're going to get negative back. If you're going to put anger, you're going to get anger back. And that's just the way it is. And you really are in charge of your destiny.
Yeah.
If you can take the high road and really start working on being mindful of your thoughts, your words, and your actions.
And that's the free will, using your free will to do that. You
That's
can
right.
make a
And treat
different
it someone.
choice. Yes.
Treat someone as you want to be treated. Make sure every day is Christmas. I just gave a good friend of mine a bamboo, like 5 bamboo bushes or something, to plant in their backyard for her birthday, Pisces. And she was overwhelmed. She goes, "Well, thank you. I don't know what to say." And I said, "Just thank you. That's all.
Oh.
I just enjoy that you're enjoying it, and we give them a place to live." I mean, I love that. That's all it is. Spreading the love, just spreading the
Yeah.
love. And it's very true. It's what you give out. You know, what you create, you give out, you get back. What the way they describe it to me is you have to live. You have to live in the physical vibration of the mental thoughts you send out the world. And whether that's in illness, dis-ease, uncomfort, poverty consciousness, victim conscious,
Right.
you right now are a sum total of every single thought and action you've ever done. Right now, we're just sitting here. You're a sum total of everything from your past actions and thoughts and words. This is it. It might
That's a
not be
big
every lifetime.
statement, and you're right.
It's true. And it
Yeah.
could be from other lifetimes. And there are
Yes.
things we repeat over and over again because
Mhm.
karma is not a punishment. It's learning. It's understanding. Many people think it's a punishment. It's not a punishment. It's an
No.
understanding. As
And
we
and what
also
it's about, no, actually what it's about is that the soul will go through many lifetimes until it wakes up. And the point of waking up is to wake up to empathy, compassion, kindness, love. That's what the soul comes in to express here, to learn.
understanding the wholeness of being.
Yes.
The wholeness of being might be, for instance, today we had a lady, my student, who lost a son. She came to my meeting for 3. She's very talented. Didn't know she was that talented until she did a demonstration. Never did it before. She was amazing. And she knows that this happened, her lost her son, because she knows she's got to teach people later on about the loss of a child and how they have to take care of
Yeah.
themselves and putting them on their spiritual path. Not an easy one,
Oh, it's
but
so hard.
an important one.
Yeah.
So, and if we can just get away from the victim consciousness and really just be open and receive and send love and compassion, even to those people that the hardest ones. I play a game. The game. I'm my best, as you know, Kelly, my best audience. And the tougher someone is, the more I got to crack them. So the other day, my grandniece was here, and we're at a restaurant, and the waitress, we just came from a store. The guy that's behind the counter we had a good time, fun, and everything. And she goes, the waitress came to give us water. I call them walking spinal cords because they just do their thing, acknowledge, empathetic. So she said, "Can you get her?" And he's like 10, 11 years old. I said, she goes, "Can you get her? Can you crack her?" I said, "We'll work on it. We'll see." So then I don't know, 10 minutes. She goes, "You guys are the best table I've had here." Because I said, "You have beautiful eyes. You're a beautiful person. You know that, right?" And she said, "I really need to hear that. Thank you." So
Oh,
you never know.
you
It
never
just needs love and just love
right.
people. It might sound
Right.
simplistic, but it's really
No,
what it is.
but it actually is. It is simplistic, actually. Be kind. Be kind and have no expectations for anything else.
You taught me that one in this lifetime. You really were the one that taught me that having no unrealistic expectations of someone else because they're limited. They're not aware of it. It's just the way it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. And you want to do good because it's good for you want to do good. Just want to do good in the
You want to feel
world.
good. You want love. You want to feel good. Then give it out. Do the best.
Right,
Do the
right.
best you can with what you know.
Absolutely.
And even people in your relationship with karma. So karma, family karma, situations that happen in life. I really do love the analogy of Shakespeare that the world's a stage, we're merely players upon it. Because
Yeah.
one lifetime we choose with our group souls, Who's going to be the father? Who's going to be the mother? Who's going to be the grandparent? Who's going to be the son that commits suicide? Who's going to be the one that dies of a drug overdose? Who's going to be the one that does this? It's all to learn. My mother was an alcoholic, and couldn't believe it as a kid. Now when I look back, I said, wow, what a great gift. Well, greatest gift. I probably wouldn't be here right now if that hadn't happened, because it taught me about compassion. It taught me about patience. It taught me about disease. It taught me about addiction. It taught me a lot of things. So
Well,
that
you
was
know, it's really interesting that you said that, because my father was a heroin addict and an alcoholic. But his father, so my grandfather, came from Ukraine. And when he came from Ukraine in 1917, my great uncle killed a Cossack, think about this, to escape Ukraine in 1917. So all those family members could come here. And what happened is that energy, if we talk about generational trauma, that energy literally went from my grandfather to my father. And I know my father was always wanting freedom. Freedom was so important. And his brain, he just couldn't slow himself down. And I know that alcohol and drugs did, I'm sure he did that to calm himself down.
Oh, he had to escape. It was his escape.
He had to escape. I mean, isn't it interesting? I mean, that's so I can trace it back. And I had such compassion when I really put all that together today. I have such compassion for alcohol and drug users now at this point.
You know, I'm going to read you a little bit about, I'm going to book
Yeah.
national karma, because, you know, every country has karma. Every
Yes.
city has karma. I mean, geographically, every city, every nation, person, place, it's karmic. So this is national karma. When we look at country using the physical eye, we can see only its physical characteristics. When we look at the countryside, we see an open composed of 4 major islands. We'll talk about Japan here. They contain mountains, rivers, vegetation, and the art, and the rest, surrounded by beautiful ocean, nature, to blah, blah. So they used earthquakes, volcanoes, and a whole array of geographic phenomena to sculpt this land into what it is today. But they talk about how different it is with a different picture, because it was created by people's thoughts, how people, the karma they had. Each nation on earth has its own spirit, and the spirit has its own karma. Everything has a spirit. The rocks, the trees, everything.
Yeah.
It's really true. That's why you got to be kind to everything and everyone. Geographic karma, the earth is materialization manifest of the physical, of the planetary spirit. This translates to mean that all natural objects and all geographic locations are imbued with their own spirit. And ancient people, of course, believed this and knew this, Aborigines and so forth. It's so true. Look at everybody as everything as living, as alive, because it is. It's so true.
Right. Oh my God, that's
Marital
amazing.
karma, there's, you know, marriage karma, family karma. People say the hardest people in your life are your family members.
Oh,
True.
So
Because
true.
a couple of reasons. There's the one you're working from, you're learning lessons from, or teaching them. It's
Yeah.
also, Kelly, and I've heard this in psychology, it's a reflection of yourself.
Yeah.
And if you think we're all one, we're all connected, then it must be the aspects in that person that
Yeah.
are also within you that you have to look at and learn from.
Absolutely. It's that way in all relationships. If you pull somebody in with you, you have to look at who the person is and who are you within this person. It's a very interesting way to go forward when you meet somebody or when you're in a relationship with somebody, or particularly a family member.
Yeah. And it's funny because I've met a lot of, you know, successful people, let's say, wealthy people, successful people. And I'm like, well, and some people say, well, they're very wealthy. That's a good thing for them. And I said, is it? Not necessarily. That might
Not
be
necessarily.
that's their energy. What are they going to do with what they have? Are they giving it out to people? Are they helping people with it? Or are they just self-serving? It's in everything. I mean, you know, what you see out in the world is not necessarily what's going on inside their house.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. I've read this thing. I love this. I have to read this to you because I think this is so amazing. This is about karma and reincarnation. And it says, the whole of material creation can be likened to a rehabilitation center meant for helping a soul to rediscover its divine nature. So if we view Earth as a rehabilitation center for all of us to capsule actually our divine nature, it's amazing.
It's incredible. It's
Right?
incredible.
So I'm going to start thinking like that.
This is our rehab. Yeah.
This is our rehab.
It's so true. And isn't it interesting that the Earth world, the Earth school, is a school of addictions?
Why do you think that is?
It's just a physical trait. Well, it's physical, mental, emotional. It is for many beings.
For all the traumas, I'm going to guess.
It's letting go. It's learning how to let go of attachments, because really we're all and nothing at the same time. We really aren't anything but love and energy. That's all we are.
Right.
We're not the things we have. We're not the attachments. So I think that it might be. I think there are a number of factors involved. Not only is it physical attachments of things, but there could be some, like you say, emotional traumas, physical traumas, emotional traumas, mental traumas, if you will. I also believe, Kelly, I don't know what you thought. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, that the soul sometimes chooses to come back. Sometimes, again, everything's varied because there's so many different situations and experiences that one soul might come back in a lifetime to work on the physical body.
Oh,
Or might
absolutely.
another one might come back to work with the
Mhm.
emotional body. So maybe they'll
Yeah.
choose an earth sign, I mean a water sign. Some, spiritual to come back, like Scorpio. So I think that yes, there could be an integration of all the bodies, but I think
Yeah.
there might be one main one that their focus is. What do
Oh,
you think?
I absolutely agree. When I do readings with people, I'll look at why did they come in? Are they working? I look exactly for that, James. Are they working on fear, second chakra? Are they working on survival? Or what are they looking? What did they come in to experience? So what can they recover from? Where did they get stuck?
That's very interesting because today at school, at class I was in, I did a meditation, what they gave me, which I've never done before,
Okay.
and which I always do kind of do that, but this was different because these are mediumship 3 students, and I said we're going to work on the essence of
Ooh.
our being. I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means? I don't know what that means, but I do know that I brought them to a space. With spirit helped, obviously, to a space of essence, to a space of everything, but a space of nothing. And they all had amazing, profound experiences. And they said, "This is the real me, not the one I'm used to. That I got
That's
used to."
the essence.
That's the essence. That's the essence of our being. 70% out of the body,
Oh.
30 in. That's the essence of. And there's a lot of them said, "We're connected to everything. We're connected to it, all of it." And I'm so much better than I thought I was. So I said to them in the
Hmm.
process, like, "What holds you back from being the best you can be in that physical body? What's holding you back?" And most of them said their thoughts,
Mm.
their
Wow.
programs,
Yeah.
their programs.
Yeah. No, thoughts will hold you back. I'm not
And a
good
lot of
enough.
people,
I'm not this enough. Yeah.
and a lot of people, and especially in the intuitive arts, I believe, I can't just, I'm going to make a general statement here, but sometimes I feel many students in the intuitive arts, empaths, sensitives, speak, "Oh, I just can't go with that energy. It's so bad. It makes me feel bad. Or I can't." And sometimes I think that's a crutch because they can't
Mhm.
take responsibility of,
Yeah.
being aware of the space, that it takes responsibility to be open and
Right.
minded, if you will. And that is only love. But the human mind creates negativity, creates a lot of stuff for the human to work with.
Well, when I hear that, I have to wonder how grounded they are.
Yeah, because they put a lot of furniture in the room.
Yeah. I like
Yeah,
that furniture in the room. I
furniture
like
in the room
that. I
to
think
make
that's
it.
great. Oh my
I don't know.
God.
I just amen.
So let me say this karma is on the good positive side of it is when a selfless action uplifts a soul. Okay,
Sure.
that's creating good karma. While selfish actions degrade it, it makes it much more difficult. So you really, lives are a result of selfish and selfless actions and experienced over many, many lifetimes.
That's true.
And that's how a soul comes to understand how its actions would affect others.
It goes back to my friend Olivia passed over, and she said, her and I were together for 30 something years, friends, and went to healing circles and mediumship and went through the whole thing. And we made a plan that whoever goes first would come back and share the experience right away, which she did. She kept to that.
She kept her word.
She kept her word. You knew Olivia. She kept her word.
Yeah.
And when she passed over, she said, I said, "Well, what was it like?" And she showed it to me. And she said it to me, and I was seeing it. She walked to a movie theater. And she was British, and she said it was very strange. I walked to the theater, and all these people looking up at the screen. And she said, and I just walked into the screen and looked back, and they were all like dead people. And I walked the beautiful colors, and flowers were growing in these amazing, beautiful colors. And I was received. There was a reception of all these people, and I forgot who they were. And I realized, oh, I opened the door for this lady. Oh, I gave this lady a ride. Oh, I gave this other person extra change. They all came to receive me for the acts of kindness that occurred in their life because of me.
Wow.
And that's what
Wow.
happens to all of us.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah.
happens to all of us, good and bad, by the way.
Wow. Wow.
So we,
And karma here, ultimately, karma is here to teach us empathy.
right, it's
So,
the greatest lessons that it is. It's one of the
yeah.
greatest lessons to learn empathy and love. Yeah,
Mhm.
put yourself in someone else's shoes. It's the
Oh,
best
well,
way.
absolutely.
The
And there are
best.
three types of karma. So, three types of karma. There's one that's the past karma, things that you would have, had in other lifetimes. And then there's the present karma of what you're dealing with. and then there's a future karma. So you really want to watch your actions, because at any time, any of the past, present, and future could play out.
Correct. I learn a lot from the people I work with every day, but also books I've read. And some of the one most wonderful books I've read have been about Silver Birch, a guide that
Oh,
came through a
yeah.
medium in England in the 30s. And I want to read something about karma from
Okay,
Silver Birch,
please.
because pretty incredible stuff. Um, he makes certain comments that seem to validate reincarnation, but then migrates to force his assertion by saying that it does not occur in the facile form that is not often profound, or just created. The higher the ascent of the spiritual scale, the more recognition is there, and there is a reincarnation because it happens, but not in the facile. I'm going to go on. Hold on. Let's see what else here. A new soul who will join our group will shortly enter into the pattern of karma, be woven him into the earth, and full understanding of the earth comes through karmic cycles.
Yeah.
Just what you were saying before.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really true.
It
So if you
is.
want to do good karma, do good things. It's true in life too.
Mhm.
And I also think an important part is to learn not to judge people, because everybody's different. Everybody has a right. Everybody has a right to be who they are, whether they have funny looks or that they don't agree with you. Who cares? Who cares?
Okay.
I had a wonderful teacher. She was a client, and she also taught metaphysics for 35 years. She was 82 years old. Her name was Magda Best. Kelly, I don't know if you've ever talked about Magda.
I think I
Very,
have her book. I think I
yes,
have
you
a couple
do.
of her books.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she did ayahuasca tea with me in Brazil when she was 82 years old.
That's
That's her.
amazing.
She used to drop acid in the 60s when she was a therapist. I said, "You dropped acid?" She goes, "Well," and she was Hungarian. And she said, "James, how could I understand what they were doing, giving, what they were like, if I didn't have the experience myself?" And she was like that. And
Yeah.
often complex things would happen. And she'd look and say, "So what?
My
So what?
favorite two words.
So
Yeah.
what? It
So
doesn't
what?
matter." And I always say it is what it is, and that's all that it is. Stop
Right.
making it more than it needs to be because you're
Right.
giving it energy. Don't waste your energy.
Oh,
Energy is a gift that
yeah.
we're given. It's a
And
gift.
this
Use
life
it
is a
appropriately.
gift. And to be here is a gift.
You bet it's a gift. You know how many souls are trying to get back to this earth? Believe it or not, a lot of souls are trying to
Yeah,
get back here. It's
they
one of the
are.
largest places to grow. How do you
Yeah.
grow? Love,
Love. Absolutely. Absolutely.
understanding, non-judgmental, being open,
Right.
helping.
So I have a question for you on reincarnation. What is reincarnation, and how often do souls come back, do you think?
Oh, Kelly, that's such a human question.
I know. I know. I have to ask the
I
question.
know
I know
many
the
people
answer.
do. Many people do. No, many people do. Well, I first got to preface it by saying what I always say, because I feel like I'm not giving out the full Virgo truth here. Because we like to be accurate
I
right
know.
there. So when we talk about these things, we talk about it from a three-dimensional human point of view. But if we talk about karma, that it's maybe in the seventh dimension, sixth dimension, the spirit world, it's very different than here, right? Than our
Yeah.
perception of karma here. But for the human to understand it, including myself, I believe that karma is energy, and it's an understanding of the energy. It's understanding of living in that space which you or the collective you or collective groups have created, and whether that's in a different country, different planet, a different country, different nation, different family,
Mhm.
and that I think you just you reincarnate or go back to learn. Let's go take a class together. So you ask
Yeah.
other souls who've been in groups with you before. Let's go take this class together. We'll be out shortly, and you do. And in this lifetime, okay, I'll be the mother, you be the friend, you be the one with the addiction, you be the one who doesn't talk to the family, whatever it might be. So it's a whole different learning lessons,
Yeah.
and I think that you really have to go through that, what you did. Some another lifetime, maybe you were the addict, or you were the one that abused somebody. They have to be
Mhm.
abused, or whatever it might be, whatever that might be. And I think that you pick the place with your guides that will help you and benefit your soul growth
Yeah.
the most. So you pick the time of your
Mhm.
birth, you pick the planet, the school,
Yep.
because there are millions of schools, not just the
Yeah.
earth, there are millions that will help you progress the most. And this is a place, this earth school has so many souls of baby souls and postgraduate souls and middle
Yeah.
souls. Those who think, war and power, like Putin,
Yeah.
war and power is it. Or you have the, postgraduate souls, healers and light workers and so forth. Then you have the ones in the middle trying to figure things out. And
Yeah.
because you have that dynamic situation there, it creates various scenarios where we're thrown into, and we don't know what to do. But really, what we can do is go back to our heart, go back to our soul, which has all the answers, because it's your GPS, it's your intuition, it's your GPS of the soul, your intuition. Listen to your gut. That
Right.
soul has lived through lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes of experiences. It's the knowledge that you have. It's not in your head. It's not. It's in
Right.
your
No.
heart.
Yeah,
In your
it
heart.
is. As they say, let your conscience be your guide
It's
through your
very true.
heart. I mean, really, do the right thing. So Kathleen
Yeah.
Swinburne says, "Can you talk about the karma of Ukraine, basically of the current war in Ukraine?" And
What do
we
you
were
think?
talking. Well, I think that this has gone on for so long that the people at this particular time in history have said, "We've had enough now. This is not going to happen anymore, and we're going to change the generational trauma, and we're going to make different choices here, and we're not going to." And the whole world has come together, I think, to free Ukraine, to free the karma in that. Because if you think about it, if it continues to go on, they are just creating more karma. And that part of the world geographically
I'm not. It
is
affects all.
archaic. It's been there that way forever.
Yeah, it affects all of us. I
Affects
think.
everybody,
I
James.
don't know why, but I think I just heard in my head the Ottoman Empire. So I don't know what that means, but I heard that. I think that it's in a weird way, like you say, in a weird way. I think it's bringing the world together. I think it will be
Yeah.
forced to bring the world together,
Mhm.
whether it's on the brink of nuclear war, which we are, by the way, because
Mhm.
everybody has nuclear missiles. And we do, and we need to. My feeling is that the world should have gotten together before, even though it's not part of NATO. It doesn't matter. I
Right.
think we need to get together and stop the aggression. It's not
Right.
right. Aggression is not right. And
Right.
because it's such a large scale, global scale, like that, we all need to step up and do our thing. So, according to this book, each nation on Earth has its own
Yeah.
spirit, and the spirit has its own karma. Spirit exists before matter, and the national spirit is what causes the land formation to generate. Is it then acts the age of materialization for the living things born to that land. And so to me, I think it's also part of that history of those two nations, if you will, or
Yeah.
various empires that ruled. And I think
Mhm.
there might have also possibly been an agreement to get into this conflict to teach the world about coming together, especially at this spiritual transformational time.
I
Maybe, hopefully,
I
that's
agree
it.
with that. I agree with what you just said,
I certainly
100%.
hope so. I
That it
certainly,
might be have been already planned that we're gonna come together through this way.
what's really moved me, the people that are staying behind the Molotov
Oh,
cocktail and defending their
oh
nation.
my
It's just
gosh.
it's just amazing they do that. I think they need help, so they need our help.
Right. So, James, this is a great question. Julie Munsterman says, "Why can't we learn in heaven? Why does it have to be here?" Hmm.
Question, very good question.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think we learn faster in the physical.
Correct, and because we have situations with other souls that are on different levels. In
Yeah.
heaven, you don't have other souls from different levels being together. In the spirit world, you go to the place which is created. There are many, many levels. There are worlds within worlds within worlds. And spirits have often come back and talked about going on a tour. My mother did it. I just literally found tapes from my first readings from a psychic and Brian Hurst, my teacher, medium. Before I was a medium, when he's telling me I'm going to be a medium, so I just listened to these cassette tapes. And my mother talks about how she's been. I just listened to it last night, so here we are. That they took her on a tour of the different lands, and some she called the Shadowlands. Some she goes, well, I'd rather not be there. It's like a dark alley. And she goes, but people live there. People live there, and they're a result of their thoughts and what they've done on the earth or what they didn't do. Right.
Wow.
So, I mean, this is a place down here where you have situations that you can grow from by using love. If you use fear, you're going to stop. You won't grow. You either stop or go backwards with fear. It's because it's false
Right.
ego appearing real. It'll either help you to move on, but most of the time it stagnates you or puts you back. You know that better than I do from
Yeah.
your type of work.
Yeah.
But love is, even if you don't know how things are going to turn out, you got to use love.
Yeah.
Be the best person you can be. It also, I believe, at the end of your life, you want to look back when you have your life review, which we're all going to have.
Yep.
You look back and you say, and you look and you're your own judge. There's no judge and jury. You go there, or heavens, or the golden
Right.
book. No, you judge yourself. You see if you pass the tests that you set up before you came back in the incarnation, or if you didn't pass those tests. Right.
Right.
So really, it's you will be your own judge and jury, and you look back and see all the things you did, all the things you didn't do, and you have to forgive yourself. Like today in school with the man who said "I love you" to his daughter. She hadn't heard that. It's an amazing experience. Don't wait till you die. Live your life as if tomorrow's your last day.
Mm, right. Wow. How often do you think people come back?
Well, a very good question, very good Virgo question, actually, because I was asked that, and I heard, but I'm saying maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
When you want to, I think when you want to, when everything works together for your highest good, is when you come back.
Yeah.
Earth years, I've heard could be 200 to 300 years. It's almost like your great 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 grandfather or grandmother. That's what
Right.
I've heard. I don't know if it's like it back there, but you do stay in the same family line. So I know that I saw so I did a family tree for my family, and the Von Prochs, which are Dutch, and they come from Jewish side of Hungary, I think. And I went to the Holocaust Museum in Amsterdam once, and I was very taken when I looked at the list of my 50 relatives died in Auschwitz, and it's just Sarah von Proch and
Oh,
Alexander von Proch, and I was just taken by them. And then I watched I told you this last week on Netflix. I was watching a show about Nazi Germany, and they showed a list of Auschwitz, and there was Sarah von Proch's name.
ugh.
And then I was, I've told you this before when I had a past life regression. I with Brian Weiss, I saw myself. He said to the audience, just ask any question you want. You're sitting in the big room. Just ask whatever you'd like to know, just in your mind. And I sat in the back and I said, oh, it won't work for me, but I'll try it. And I did. And the only thing that changed on me, by the way, my mustache and eyes were the same. But every time I looked,
Wow.
there was a different uniform. I was a general in all these different wars. And some European wars, and the French American War, Indian War, all these wars. And I was always a general. Always and I asked, why am I in the public eye? Why would I'm shy? Because I was a general in many of those wars that killed people. And now I've come back to heal people about the millions of lives. I've come to heal
Literally, and you have.
to balance
Wow.
that karma. So it's karmic. And who knows, maybe I killed my relatives. I mean, seriously, I might have killed Sarah. I don't know. But it's
Well,
not Nazi Germany. I know that. And yeah.
wow. So,
I
okay.
can't judge it. We can't judge it because we
No, we
have
can't.
we got to learn by it. We just got to learn.
Right.
If we, realize it's not that good thing, but we didn't know better at the time. And we got to
Right.
realize that we didn't know better at the time. Now that we know better, we're awake. We can't go back.
Exactly.
Once
No,
you
you
wake up,
cannot.
and what do you always say to me, Kelly? Once you learned it, you can't go backwards.
You can't go backwards. You have to go forwards. You learn it and you move on. Eliza Wharton says, how do you know when you've cleared your karma debts?
That's an interesting one. I think we
Really
have
good question.
Yeah, I think again, I don't want to say debts because it sounds negative, right? So it says, I think it goes to the end of your physical life. So I think you're always working here, whether it's positive or negative, it's putting out good energy is what it is. So I think when you die, when you leave the physical body, then that's the end of that experience.
Yeah.
So the way I could look at it.
The way I view it is sometimes you might have a career or you may have a relationship that you're in that it's over and you've like cleared it or done
Oh,
the
I know
debt,
that
paid
one
the
very
debt. I know, yeah,
I thought you
I
said
do
divorce. I
too.
understand that one very well because I knew when I first married my first wife, I met her, the good karma. Talk about karma. When I first met her, it was in college. I was a stagehand, just a school college. And she worked on a stage, and I said, oh, I'm going to marry that girl one day. I was 18 years old before I knew anything psychically. I'm going to marry her one day. Make a long story short, we dated. Then we separated 12 years later, went our own ways, whatever it was. I went to California. I know we lost touch. And I was in a development circle. And I started, in the development circle, she kept on coming up. And I said to Spirit, I said, if it's meant to be, have her call me. Within 2 weeks, I put a time on it. The next morning, literally the next morning, the phone rings at 6 a.m. And she said, Jen, do you remember me? I'm like, and it was wow. And then when she told me she was married but getting divorced, my heart was like, so it was an emotional thing. But I knew we had to get married. And the funny thing is, I went to a healer 3 or 4 years before that. And he said, do you know this person? He gave me the name. I said, yes. In college, he goes, you're going to be with that person again because there's karmic energy still attached to your auric field that you must work through. You left her at the wedding in the middle of the ceremony. You didn't go through with it. You left. So in this lifetime, you have to come back and see that through. And that's exactly what happened. So I knew it was karmic.
That was that pull that you were
That was a
feeling.
pull. And I knew it was
Yeah.
that way because everything works out perfectly.
Yeah.
time. Like, for instance, I was given a castle in south of France for a honeymoon by a client. We were showing where to get this ring. Went all the way downtown LA, looking for a ring, couldn't find it. And a friend said, well, why don't you try this person? I said, well, we just spoke to him yesterday. There was the ring. A friend gave me her house in Malibu where Sean Penn was married for the ceremony.
Oh my God.
By
So
the
it was
time
all set up for you.
when we lit the unity candle, 2 doves came from the skies. Don't ask where they came from. They made a circle and left. I mean, come on. It's karma. So things are set up. Things are in a pattern. It's easy. It just works easy. A psychic told me when I was 17, 18, one of the first psychics, I mentioned this before in the show. When things are meant to be, the door opens, the path is clear. When it's not, when there are obstacles, it's not right for you. And I've always lived to that.
Right. Me too, James. Me too. Wow.
It's in yourself. I knew I had to, and everything
Yeah.
around me said, don't marry, don't get involved in that relationship. It's not right for you. I had to do it. I just knew it.
Well, it was some karmic piece there.
It was a karmic tie,
Yeah.
and same thing with all the relationships. They just
Yeah.
want to really, and I think your animals too. I mean, my dog Maisie, I was connected with her. I still am. But this karma with our animals as well, no doubt about it.
Oh,
Family
absolutely.
members, but that is that 100% family
Right.
members, partners, friends, even.
Yeah.
I mean, I just met this girl in my life who my friend,
Mhm.
my girlfriend, and we just connected. And it was like, well, I know you. Well, I know you. And we say things, we finish each other's sentences. It's just amazingly coincidental, I guess you would say. It happens when
Well,
you're doing
it's
the
some karmic, thing. Okay, so this is a good question. Jeanette Ramirez says, "Do we have a conscious in the spirit world?"
more so than we have here.
Yes.
10 times, 20 times, 30 times stronger. And
Yeah.
look back at this little teeny weeny little consciousness we have here, the human mind, the human brain. I go, it's only
Right.
30% here, 70% there. Imagine.
Trudy Jackson says there is not the duality on the other side that is needed here for the lessons. Absolutely, Trudy,
Excellent.
that's
Excellent,
correct.
sweetheart.
Yeah,
Exactly.
thank you.
Duality. Good word.
Yeah.
Duality. 222 duality. Exactly right.
Steve Kanicki. Hi, Steve. So did Putin reincarnate to help bring the world together in a perverse way? It's a
Let's
big
hope so.
possibility. Let's hope so. Yeah, let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Please. He's a Libra, ruled by Venus, planet of love and peace and harmony. Let's let him use the higher aspects of his being.
Yeah.
Kelly, what are the negative aspects of Libra?
Not doing the balance, going out of balance, going out of balance, actually going procrastination, out of balance. But I think I'm wondering, James, if he had some sort, he's got a reptilian gaze, and I wonder if he had some sort of either stroke or if he had some sort of
problem.
something going on, in his something happened here. I don't know. I
can't look at the man. I mean, I never could look at the man, even earlier days.
I can't. It's because they call it a reptilian gaze. Yeah, and it has to do with psychopathy. So I mean, there's something really the matter. But did he come together to bring us ultimately? Is that
might be possible?
Could be.
And Laura Essig, my friend Laura Essig, I love what she says. The spirit world is alive, and we're the dead ones. Life is but a dream. Very true, Laura. Very true. As my friend Gordon Smith says, oh, you have nothing to worry about. We're the dead ones. They're not. They're ones that are living. And someone asked a question about being earthbound. Like, we're the earthbound ones. They're certainly not. They're free. We are the earth. We're the earthbound ones.
I know. Oh my gosh. So Anne Margaret has a question. James, if our soul family here is not talking to each other, do we forgive them or do we honor the agreement pre the earth visit? I'm confused on this.
I think you do the highest possible thing. So you can show unconditional love to them. You can heal it on the inner planes, like we talked about earlier with Putin, sending them love, sending them, if you wanted cards, love, whatever it might be. That's all. You don't have to be, there is no show. If there's no audience, there's no show. Right. So you can just be yourself and you can love them. Who cares if they judge you? They don't know you. If they're judging you, they don't know you. You can send them love and be love. Don't force it on them because they won't hear it if you force it. You'd be gentle with it and do it in gentle ways, whether it's through prayer work, meditation work, visualization work, sending a candle or a card, just saying, thinking of you. That's what you have to do. Don't get pulled into the drama because many times family, biggest karmic, lessons we have. You want to be pulled into the old patterns of lifetimes. And those patterns of lifetimes and the souls are very true because the soul memories are so strong. So you want to break those patterns. And the best way is non-judgment, observation, and love. And as Kelly taught me, I mention this every week, she taught me that soul might be limited. You can't judge them because they might not know any better. So
And
you got
and to even expand that, I mean, literally look at the sibling or the family member, and look at the trauma that that family member would have had, and look at the family member before that, and just start looking at traumas. I'm not suggesting that you don't have boundaries with this person, because have boundaries if they are not, if they're unkind, you have boundaries. But you still want to look at, maybe it will give you a little empathy for what that person would have gone through, and then that person behind that person. So it's something to think about.
Sue Dodson says here, I can't honor an agreement with them. Where is it, Sue? I lost it. Can't honor an agreement with them if I don't know what the agreement is. If I don't know idea what the agreement is. Sue, how about just love?
Yeah.
Why can you honor it with just love? You don't have to be literal. Just use love, whatever that might be. Love them no matter what. How's that? That's the best way. Yeah. Sherry is, if they are judging you, they are really judging themselves. Very, very true. It's very true. You judge other people because you don't feel good enough. You're judging someone else because you want to feel better then. So if you put someone else down, you'll feel in control. There's like control issues too. Today I talked to my class and I said, when you meet somebody for the first time, don't just go up what you see, what you say, or even sense. But be mindful that every single person you meet brings a whole truckload of a moving van with them.
That's so true.
Every single trauma, every
Right.
single past experience, every relationship, other lifetime.
A truckload.
Before they unpack their truck, make sure you know what it's all about. Good common sense, really.
Right. So that's so funny. Renee Bear King, she says, when having no grandchildren, do spirit family lines end? Well, what I noticed, that I have a lot of friends that have never had children, and I believe they didn't want to bring in any more karma. I think they wanted to work on themselves in this lifetime. What do you think? Right? I mean,
I wanted children this lifetime. I wanted two, and I saw them too. I wanted two boys. I just knew when I was young. I was probably in teenage years, and that first psychic I went to see, she said, I mean, this is before I did anything with mediumship. I was 18, 19, and she said, you want children, don't you? And I said, yeah. She goes, yeah. The two boys. I said, yes. She goes, it's not going to happen. I said, why? She said, it's not for you this time. The earth will be your children. I'm like, what does that mean?
wow.
I had children, I couldn't do my work.
Right.
So my children are my grandchildren, my grandnieces and nephew, and my relatives. Those are my children, like my niece, my daughter. We act like that's where they feel. It feels that way. So I don't think it's important that you have grandchildren every lifetime. I don't think it's important. That's not what your soul's mission is necessarily in that lifetime. Don't get so caught up in that human condition of those rules.
Right.
It can really hold, rules and regulations and rigidity can hold us back.
Absolutely.
Can degress.
Right. So Tracy Denning says, but don't we reincarnate to men and women? By what you're saying, James, you were only a man. I feel I was a man in my last life. Please elaborate. You can come back as a male, as a female, as neither sex.
Life of everything.
Right.
Vapor, steam, liquid, physicalness. I mean, I think we're part of everything. I think I've come back as rocks, trees. I think, why limit ourselves to humans? Why? We're also part of, the extraterrestrial realm, folks. You might be weird about this, but we're part of that. When I did my development circle, I used to have a lot of I don't know if I tell you this, Kelly, ET beings, extraterrestrial, in a whole different realm that weren't humanoids. They were very different, but they were very, very evolved.
Yeah,
so
very
we have
evolved.
part of that energy too. So, we can part of it. Stop limiting ourselves. The human glasses are so limiting. We're so much in a box.
Right.
It's like we got to start stepping out of that box to understand things truthfully.
Oh my God. So, wait, before we get to that, I have to ask this question too. Wait, this is such a good one. Hold on a second, Renee. Jennifer Petrie says she's also a Virgo. Do Virgos have a high karmic debt through life? I'm sorry. Yes, they do.
I think
because Virgo, every sign has their thing that they have to work through, but Virgo is all about service. Period.
It's service, and it's also assimilation of information, assimilation of food, assimilation of material, assimilation of the physical. It's all about that. But it is service. It's a sign of human service. You got to be of service, and it's that. I think every sign has positive traits, negative traits.
Yeah,
it's difficult for every sign, but they're learning signs. It's what you learn the most from. I came back at a cusp which is interesting because some good friends of mine are cusp babies, and they say
I'm a
that.
cusp baby.
Oh, there you go. I was going to say my
Mhm.
best friends. They say cusp babies are different than most people.
Yeah.
Do you know? You knew that.
I knew that, yeah,
You've
because
heard
you can
that.
go in any direction with that.
I love
Yeah.
that. You make you yes, make you versatile. Very, very true. The question Renee put up a question before. Here you go.
Okay, Kristen, when you notice the same patterns of people who come and go in your life repeating, like characters in a play and a reboot, is that a sign that you're nearing the end of this life lesson?
I think you got to get rid of those people if they keep on
Yes.
repeating. You're like, hello. I mean,
Yeah.
hello. Why do you keep
Yeah.
on repeating that pattern? You have to just let it go. Cut the ties. Bye bye. Lesson
Yeah.
is learned. Stop trying to make
Right.
it something it's not. We always try to make something out of nothing, and we shouldn't do that.
Right. I mean,
Should have
boundaries are a huge lesson here.
huge,
Boundaries. Yeah. It's
huge. I spoke
so
about that today. Every day I talk about boundaries, objectivity, and boundaries.
right.
And you need to
So
tell someone when they're, and so nicely that they're overstepping their boundaries. It's not
right.
wise to do that.
Right. Julie Musterman, what is the key to really learning the lessons that we need to?
Love,
That's it.
treating other
Love,
people with love, try to like Kelly said, empathy.
empathy,
Their point
compassion,
of view.
kindness.
Maybe they're limited. That helped Kelly told me that, and that helped me so much. That person may be limited. You don't put them down or judge them. Just accept them for who they are. I was telling a student this today in my class. They asked if I've worked with Dr. Brian Weiss, who does past life regression. I said, yes, I did for many years. And Brian told me a wonderful lesson once. We were doing a cruise in some place in the world. And it was a 3-hour cruise. We worked hard, 3-hour workshop that day. And we were for like 10 days. And I said, Brian, we got to go. There's a lot of people to talk to him afterwards. So we got to go eat dinner, get ready. And he didn't come. It was probably about a half hour later. And I went to the stateroom and I said, what happened there? He said, oh, I couldn't go. And I said, well, why? He said, James, we have to remember everybody has a story and every story is worth hearing.
Oh, wow.
Tell me that. It's very true. And if you're in a position to help people, be of service, but again, with that, you also should know boundaries because people
I
can take
was just
advantage.
thinking that.
Take
Yeah.
advantage of you, which to
Mhm.
me they have until I learn boundaries. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't do it anymore, Kelly. They won't get away with it now.
No, they don't. Not my first
You
rodeo.
got to love yourself enough to have
Yeah.
boundaries.
Yeah.
And that's teaching people too. That's how you teach them as well.
Right.
Not
So
not.
true.
Yeah.
Jean Hope says, does your loved one's souls stay with you forever or do they go to another family?
That's a great one. Great question.
Mhm.
I think it's the word affinity comes in, that you have an affinity with another soul. That's part of you. So there's part of you that goes to that other part of your aspect of your soul goes to that other family too. I think it's a combination. I think it's a unison.
Yeah,
Again, it's hard because it's such a human question, and
I
we're talking about
know.
like 6 or 7 dimensions. So things are very different there. Why can't we go over there? We're all one. We're all connected. So why can't part of your soul go with that family as well?
Oh,
I don't know. Kelly,
that's
what do you think?
yeah, I do. That could happen. I mean, I think love is love and love is large. And
Yeah.
there's plenty of room.
We talk about God, and say we talk about religion and belief systems and God. I think every religion has bits of the truth, and not any one religion has all the truth. Which to me is, people ask, "What's your religion?" I say, "My religion is love,"
Yeah.
and every day I try using it, and I don't always succeed.
Yeah.
But I try, and I think that's what we can do is try. But love is the religion. We should live in love, and Jesus was a medium, most incredible physical medium that ever
Yeah.
lived. Really,
That's true.
a mental
It's
and physical
true.
medium,
That's
and
true.
about love. Pisces also about love.
Pisces, love. I mean, really, I'll be praying a lot to Jesus. So I mean, I think light a candle, like you said, for
My
March
candle.
2nd. Start
As my mother
now.
used to say in the Catholic tradition, do a novena. So when you have that candle, send
I
some
think
six
it's a great idea. I really
prayers.
do, because it gives all of us a place to put our nervous energy, maybe.
Yeah, and I think part
Mhm.
of the aggression too is because it's coming out of COVID, where the whole world was shut and people are freaking out, and it's not an easy
Yeah.
time for a lot of people. So this might come out, but let's
Right.
soften it. Let's be gentle.
Yeah, send a lot of love and a lot of healing to everybody in the world in Ukraine.
Thank you. Our digital roommates with Ducci. Thank you, sweetie.
Oh, good. All right, everybody. And I'll be talking on Thursday. I'll be doing more astrology for the month of March. So join me
Oh,
on
the eyes of March.
Thursday, the
The
Ides
eyes
of
of
March
March.
on the 15th. Oh, we've got an aspect on that day too. Yeah. Oh, James, this
I'll
month
be
is full
busy
of
that day, I
aspects.
think.
Oh,
I'll be
God.
meditating.
You have so much going on. All right. And next week, we're going to be talking about colors and auras.
Great show next week. Colors and auras. Yeah.
Please join us.
Yes.
All
Thanks,
right.
Kelly. Thanks, Renee.
James.
Thank you, everybody.
Love you. Bye, everybody.
Love you guys. Bye-bye now.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
That was great. Maybe we changed some lives.
And maybe opened up some minds.
Which way do I turn?
Right. I mean left.
The James and Kellee Show.